Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to this broadcast. My name is Rufus Johnson, the founder and CEO of the RealTruthinc. I'm back in 3 months on the air. I've been actually out campaigning, supporting the Democratic Party. I wanted to first get that out the way, and then I also want to first give thanks to God for still having me in production for 7 years. And all the candidates and people that came out to support this event. I do this every 2 years. You know, it's for the candidates, so I just want everybody to be open. If they have any questions, they can ask the candidates. We're going to move with city council candidates first, and then it's going to be the Hamilton County Municipal Judges, and then we're going to move into the school board. I want to get right into the program. I'd like to also give a special thanks out to Cincinnati Job Corps for providing the food, and also Media Bridges for supporting and their staff that helped put all this together. Plus my staff, producer Redeem and producer assistant lady, so appreciate y'all. So let's get right into the program. I wanted to first start off introducing the moderator, Miss Michelle Graves. Y'all may know her as the Money Lady, 1230 on the biz, and she'll definitely be moderating this particular program.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. It is, again, an opportunity and an honor to be here to talk about and to moderate this gathering of elected officials and people that have expressed interest in being in the world of politics. As you know, I'm not a politician, I'm a banker and a money lady. But this is very important, and so I encourage all of you that are watching right now to kindly Twitter, Facebook, call your family, friends, and everyone that you know and ask them to tune in to this viewing right now. Because for the next 2 hours, we're going to cover some very substantive issues and hopefully to codify for your understanding the issues that are facing our community. America is a democracy, which means that every man or woman has a vote. And this makes us very unique in the world politic today. So without further ado, I'm going to start to my left and ask each candidate to introduce themselves, if you'll speak directly into the camera, and introduce yourself, your party affiliation, and let's just start with what is your philosophy that framed your decision to run for Cincinnati City Council. I'll start to my left.
My name is Chris, and thank you to Mr. Johnson and all the folks here with the Real Talk. This is my second time on the show, but I just wanted to say that this is a big honor for me. It's a big honor for me to run as a first-time candidate. Regardless of the outcome, I've learned a lot, and I've really got to experience Cincinnati, and my motivation came out of really my own personal experience. My decision to run is that I've had the opportunity to live on both sides of life. I've had an opportunity to have a lot of things in my life, and at the same time I know what it is like to not have much. And so coming to Cincinnati, we understand that Cincinnati is a microcosm of what's really going on nationally and internationally, to where we have a disparity, an increasing disparity between those that have and those that have not. And so we have to make sure that on council we represent all segments of society, and that's my motivation behind that. I am a endorsed Democratic candidate, and I hope to be fair across the board. And as from what I saw in my experiences serving on SORTA and on Cincinnati Human Relations Commission, many times I've observed that on council that fairness is not always there, and that there are those that lack the perspective and understanding of what's going on in our community and the struggles that are going on every day. And that's, I think, a very important thing to talk about. So thank you, and I look forward to the questions.
Our next person.
Thank you. It's also my pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank you, Michelle Graves, and certainly Rufus Jones and Media Bridges and everyone else who's here. I'd certainly like to thank the watching and listening audience. My name is Wendell Young. I'm a Cincinnati native. I grew up in Avondale. I attended public schools. I've served in the Air Force, the police department. I've served in various capacities in city administration. I've taught high school. I currently serve on Cincinnati City Council. My motivation for running is very simple. All my life I've been taught that public service is a very high calling. It began with my father teaching me that when he and some other men in the neighborhood got together and put together a Cub Scout troop for us, and later a Boy Scout troop. It's always been about serving others. It's always been about giving back to my country, giving back to my city. I see service on Cincinnati City Council as just a logical extension of what a person would do if they truly want to serve the city. It's an opportunity for me to not only give back, but to also have a voice in what goes on in the city that I care so very much about. Cincinnati's been very good to me. It's been very good to my family, been very good to my friends. I think the least I can do is care very much about the direction of our city and which way it's headed, and I love the opportunity to have a voice in what that direction and future is going to look like. And I too look forward to the questions, and I appreciate this opportunity.
And to my light, starting on the very end, start here.
Good evening. Thank you to Ms. Graves. Thank you to Mr. Johnson, to fellow candidates, and to the people joining us live tonight. My name is P.G. Sittenfeld. I am a first-time candidate for Cincinnati City Council and a lifelong Cincinnatian. And in terms of what's motivating me to have thrown myself into the political arena and be making this run for Cincinnati City Council, I think it's standard convention for candidates to say why they love, or to say that they love Cincinnati. And what I try and convey is why I love Cincinnati. This city has been a cradle of opportunity and a city of opportunity for me. I was very blessed to get to come from a supportive family. I had two parents. I understand, not everybody even has that sort of family intact. I got to catch a ride to school every day with the school librarian, who also happened to be my mother. Because I got a good education here in Cincinnati. I went away for school. I hit the books hard. I earned a full scholarship for graduate school. And I made the decision to, even though there were opportunities elsewhere, to come back home, to build a life for myself here and to try and be of service to my community in this way. Because I think that Cincinnati can and must be a city of opportunity for everybody, not just some. And that's why I think if we stay focused on creating jobs, on delivering on basic services, and on protecting the city's safety net, we can make Cincinnati the success, and we can make it thrive in the way that it needs to. So that's why I'm running, and that's what I hope I can do as a member of Cincinnati City Council. Again, my name is P.G. Sittenfeld. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Chris Steelbach. I'm an endorsed Democrat. I live in Over the Rhine, where I've lived for 7 years. I'm running. I was inspired to run for two different reasons. One, I worked almost the last decade for our former Vice Mayor, David Crowley, who taught me one thing above all, and that was to look for issues of justice in everything you do. And to me, that means that it doesn't matter who you are, who you love, the color of your skin, or where you came from. If you work hard and you treat others with respect, you deserve you deserve a fair shot in life. And my second reason for being inspired to do this is because I only hear one thing coming out of City Hall, and that's debating what are we going to cut or not cut. From pools to rec centers to nurses at schools to police and fire jobs to yard waste pickup to recycling, it seems like the list goes on and on. The only conversation is about what are we going to cut or not cut. So I'm running to try to change that conversation to what can we do to make Cincinnati a place that more people and businesses and families want to live in. We've lost 10% of our population in the last 10 years. That's 2 families a day, 2 families of 4 a day for the last 10 years. I think if we focus on making Cincinnati a place that more young people want to live and stay, if we work with our Board of Education to make sure our schools that are great, that we promote them, and the ones that aren't so great, we work to help make them better, and if we make transportation the #1 priority, meaning that we don't let our airport die, replace the Prince Bridge, we create an exchange off 71 at Martin Luther King, better exchanges and viaducts off 75, a better Metro bus system, and fixed rail throughout the city. I think if we focus on those 3 things, we won't be dealing with another 10% loss in population 10 years from now.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'd like to begin by asking, and we've heard your philosophy, but I'd like to hear from each of you, what if we could paint a perfect world? What do you want this city to look like? And there is a divergency of opinion based upon values as to what this city needs to look like. Now, what this city looks like now, according to the Census Bureau, is the median income for this city is amongst African Americans is slightly above poverty. That means that half of the residents of this city, family of 4, are living in poverty right now. The Anglo population, its income is not much better, but it is better. So I'm going to ask this because as an economist, I am very concerned about politics as it relates to facts and people. And we don't want to get into fairy tales. So given this framework, this structural reality right now, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Rivera, and I'm going to ask you, given this, what is your vision for this city?
Well, I'm very glad to answer this. And, you know, we, all those that are here on this panel, we've heard each other many times. And, you know, I'm almost embarrassed sometimes to always repeat myself, because not only do I get tired of hearing myself, but I'm sure other people get tired of hearing me. But there's one thing that I definitely do not get tired of talking about, is just bringing up the real fact that our community is, the figures, as you mentioned, at least 30% of our population, that number is growing, of those that are below the poverty level. And actually our salaries of those individuals have gone down over the past 10 years. And this is also a national trend, so it's not anything, but especially within Cincinnati, it's such a dramatic disparity there that we really have to address it, because, and these two things, I would have to say, are also tied in. Unfortunately, it affects a racial divide as well. And so I think that our first task is to make sure that anything that we do going forward in the next 5 to 10 years, when we have these large projects that are coming online, as the banks, as the streetcar or the casino, whatever it might be, that we make sure that we try to employ as many people as possible that need a job here first, by doing some sort of local hire policy, whatever we might do to do that. I know training is a very important part of that. Super Jobs plays a role in that. However, I know that many people go through the process, they get training, but our companies locally, even though those people have the skills and are ready to, are not hiring them. So how can we make that connection and make sure that we work in a good public-private partnership with our corporations to make sure that they have priority here? But we have to make that a stipulation. We have to put that as a priority. Secondly, as someone that's helped grow a small business during very tough economic times, I know that small business anywhere else in this country plays a large role in creating jobs. And so we have to do more about that. We have to have more of a conversation. We can't depend on the large corporations to drive this conversation, because as we go forward in the next 50 years, as people look to other industries, we're going to find that more people are going to go into entrepreneurship type of roles. And so we have to be able to create that and educate our population to do that. So that's where I would look at.